This is a demonstration on the MAC address, the ARP process, and how the MAC has only local significance only. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to examine the IP scheme. So we can see the LAN here. So 192.168.1.0, the 255.255.255.0 subnet mask. The connection between these two routers is 156.166.17.0. The LAN here on this router, the WAN connection, and also the LAN. So first thing we're going to do is also look and count how many networks we have. So we have one network, two networks. Remember, if two routers share a link, it'll be the same network. This will be the third network. This will be the fourth network, and then 5. So we have 5 networks, each having their own IP scheme. So what we're going to do is go ahead and generate some traffic. We're going to ping PC1 to PC2, and we're going to take a look at what happens to the data link layer MAC address, the identifier at layer 2. So ping. First thing we notice, ICMP only tests layers 3, 2, and 1. It's just a message saying, is the device available? The ARP process, you notice that the ARP has all Fs in the destination address, which is a broadcast. So it's saying, I have an IP address, but I do not know the MAC address. So the ARP will go into the switch, be flooded out all ports except the one it was received on. The end device with the MAC address will answer. There's the flood. Only PC2 will answer. So let's take a look at the message now. It's no longer a broadcast at layer 2. So right there from the switch to Ted's email computer, remove the broadcast. Also notice that it never left the router. So a router by default will block all broadcasts, each interface. So let's take a look at if we generate traffic across the WAN link over to the server. Once again, we have an IP address, ping. Notice that we never did an ARP. So let's go back. Let's clear the MAC address table. Okay, MAC address table is clear. Clear the ARP table in the PC. ARP-D. ARP-A shows us our entries. Now let's generate that traffic again. PC to server. There's our ARP. So once again, ping ICMP will only test layers 3, 2, and 1. If we look at our ARP, it's an FFF. It's say I have this IP address. I do not have a MAC address. ARP goes in. It floods out all ports. At this point, the router says that IP address is outside our network. So what you're going to use is my MAC address. So no longer are we a broadcast at layer 2. You can see that the E3D8. So the MAC address you're going to use is the C301, which is the router. Once we get to this router, at this point, we're looking at the MAC address changes into HDLC, which is a data link WAN protocol. So we don't get to see the identifier any longer because the MAC address was stripped off the LAN and now it's using a WAN data link protocol. Goes to the next router. Now we're back to from HDLC to MAC address. So as we can see, the MAC address will be only for local significance only. So the PC's MAC address and now the router's MAC address. And then at each layer, and because we're using with a WAN protocol, it will not show you the layer 2 data link MAC address. So that's the process of either getting an ARP within your LAN. MAC address is going to stay the same within a LAN, but if you go outside your LAN, then you're going to use the MAC address of the closest router interface, your default gateway.